Hello and welcome back to Firstsales tutorial series. In this video, we're going to learn how to add email accounts into Firstsales so that you can use them in your cold email campaigns. I'm going to show you how to add Gmail account and how to add SMTP accounts from different providers. Let's get started. Now the first thing we're going to do is log into Firstsales. We're going to go to settings and then we'll go to mails and domains. Here you'll see I already have added a Gmail account from G Suite or Google Workspace as it's called now. And I'll be showing you how to add yet another one of these and also an SMTP account that we just got from Namecheap. Now you don't need to use these providers that I'm showing you here. Any provider that works with SMTP, which is the standard in the industry, will work inside Firstsales. Let's get started adding a new Gmail account. First thing you're going to do is click here on Add Mail Account. You're going to add the sender's name. Now I'll be adding an account called Udit Cuenca. So the sender name here will be Udit from Firstsales. Now this sender name is what people will see when they receive an email from this account. It will show Udit from Firstsales. The email account we're going to use here is this. I'm going to go ahead and paste that here and we'll click continue. If it's a G Suite or Gmail account, Firstsales will automatically detect that and it will ask you to add something called app password. I'm going to show you how to set that up for this brand new account right now. First thing you need to do is make sure you add Google two-step verification to that account. We'll go ahead and click here. As you can see, for our first account, we already have this enabled. So we're going to go into our new account and enable two-factor authentication. You'll add your phone number here and Google is going to send you a text message with the code that you have to add here in order to link up your phone number to this Google account. So let's do that. I've added this phone number here. We're going to go ahead and click next. And then Google will send you a text. Now let's check that text and put in the code. Then you'll get a message that says it worked. Are you ready to turn this on? It's very important that you don't leave this screen yet and click on turn on so you can turn on two-step verification. That's the first step. The second step is getting that Gmail app password. So we'll click here to add an app password. Make sure that you are inside the correct G Suite account. So we'll go ahead and select our brand new account right here. Next step is to click on select app and you can say other. You can name it FS or Firstsales, however you like. You're going to click generate and then it's going to give you something called an app password. Now this app password is a one-time password. You're only going to get this one time. This password you will use to add your account to Firstsales. Make sure you copy and paste this in a safe place so that you can come back to it later when you need it to add it to your Firstsales account. So we'll go ahead and select this, copy it, go back to Firstsales and add the app password here. Click add mail account and now Firstsales will check this to make sure that the login works. Now, as you can see, this account has been added to Firstsales. The first thing I like to do when I add a new account into Firstsales is to enable the warm-up. What this does is add your account into our network of peer-to-peer email warm-up and other areas of Firstsales that is going to allow us to send email through this email account and to receive email in this email account and any email that is found in the spam folder of the recipient will be rescued and put into the inbox. Let me show you what I mean with an account that's already been warmed up. So for an example, if we select this one here and we go to warm up, let's take a look at the last 30 days. As you can see, Firstsales has sent this number of emails every single day since the time that we added it. And if there were any sort of emails that had landed on the spam box, it would automatically have moved it to the inbox in order to signal the email service providers that you are sending legit email. Most of the time, you don't want to start sending emails from a brand new account. And if you do, you want to send a maximum of 20 to 30 emails if you're using Gmail to begin with. After you've ran warm up for about a week, you're free to start sending anywhere from 50 to 100 emails. And you can go beyond that up to Google's capacity, which is about 1,500 emails for G Suite accounts after a period of about 90 days where you've heavily warmed this up and you make sure that you're not landing in the spam box. These are all best practices, and as you're adding your accounts into Firstsales, we will let you know what these best practices are. Now the next thing we want to look into, we'll go back to our brand new account that we just added, is you want to make sure that you have enabled tracking and enabled sending from this domain. What do these two things mean? Tracking means that if you use this email account to send email from it, you'll be able to track things like open rates and replies if this is enabled. Sending means exactly the same thing. If you have enabled sending, you'll be able to send emails from this account using campaigns inside of Firstsales. If you've disabled sending, this email account will not be used for sending campaigns inside Firstsales. When does this type of scenario come to play? Let's say you want to add an account that you just want to warm up, but you don't want to send any emails from it yet. You just enable warming and you disable sending and you're good to go. Also, you may add your email here just for tracking. You can add your main email account and you only want to track when you're getting replies, right? So if you've added this email and you don't want it to warm up and you don't want it to send, but you just want to track, you can only leave tracking enabled and now you are good to go. For our email account right here, since it's brand new, we're going to enable warming, and we do want to use it in a campaign, so we'll enable sending as well. There are several tabs within the email information screen. First one is tracking. It will show you anything that it's been used for tracking. Next one is warm up. You can also view the logs, edit the settings, and then one of the most important settings, the global sending limits. When you add a brand new account to Firstsales, you will get these default global sending limits put into an account. These are put in there to make sure that you don't go over any sort of best practices so that you're not oversending and then getting your email accounts banned. Google has a way of finding out if you are sending emails automatically. They obviously don't like that. So what they're going to do is they're going to punish you. They're going to suspend your account. And we don't want any of that to happen to you. So the best way to prevent that is to make sure that you're not sending over a certain amount of emails per day, certain amount of emails per hour. And if you want to be very, very granular, you can go ahead and say every 1 minute, the max I want to send is 1 email. And every 5 minutes, the max I want to send is 2 emails. All of this is configurable within Firstsales. You can change any of these settings as you like. So for an example, let's say every 5 minutes you want to send up to 3. You just hit save, and now as you can see, this has updated. Now let's say that you have an email address that's already been warmed up, that you've used for many, many months or weeks, and you are sure that you can send more than 40 emails per day. You can quickly go in here, set up 24 hours. You can say 50. If you are very sure that you already have a warmed up email, you can say I need more. And now you can add as many as you like. Of course, you will get a warning here to make sure that your email is warmed up. Do not send more than 50 emails from an account that has not been warmed up in the past. The reason for this is you'll end up landing on the spam box and burning your email accounts and having to start this whole process all over again. And that's not fun. So we'll go ahead and hit save. These limits are good enough, and you should be ready to start sending using this Google Workspace or Gmail account. Now I'm going to show you how you add an account with SMTP from any number of providers. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and click on Add Mail Account. And in this case, we'll use my name. So we'll say Oscar from FS. Now what I've done here to showcase you guys is I've gone to Namecheap, where we bought a few domains that we can use for cold email outreach. And I've added a new email account inside Namecheap. I will be using Namecheap's SMTP settings to add a new account inside of Firstsales. You will see that the process is a little bit different for SMTP accounts, but it's nothing out of this world. It's very easy, and it's something that we can do very quickly. So next thing is to add our SMTP email account. This one is going to be Oscar, so we'll say Oscar from FS. Under email, we're gonna go ahead and grab our email address that we got from Namecheap. We'll paste it here and hit continue. Firstsales will detect that this is not a Google account, so it will not ask you for a password, but instead it's going to ask you for SMTP and IMAP settings. You will get these settings from your provider. In our case, our provider is Namecheap, so we'll go to Namecheap and grab this information right here. So for IMAP, we will grab this. The username is our email account, and our password is our email account password. We'll add that here. We'll make sure that our IMAP port does match. 993. 993 is selected. And now for SMTP, we'll do the same thing. The password is the same. And let's just make sure that we have the correct port. Correct port for outgoing, which is 465. And we have 465 entered right here. Now we're going to say add mail account so that we can add it into Firstsales. As you can see, this account has been added with SMTP details that we just grabbed from Namecheap. You want to do the same thing that you did with the Google account, which is enable the warm-up right away. Tracking and sending is already enabled, and we'll go into our global sending limits to make sure we have proper limits set up over here. 40 is okay. This is a brand new account. For providers other than Gmail, you can go up a little bit in the number of sent emails per campaign. I would recommend you don't go over 50 to 100 maximum for an account that has not been warmed up yet. It is always worth it to warm up your account for at least a few days, maybe even just a week, so that you can start sending emails without the hassle of thinking that you may get blacklisted or banned. Now that we have added our mail account from Gmail and our other mail account using SMTP, you're able to get started in adding your new campaign and start sending cold emails to your contacts using Firstsales.io. If you have any questions or you get stuck at any point of time adding mail accounts to your Firstsales workspace, make sure you go ahead and hit us up right here on the chat on the right hand side and ask us any questions. We'll be happy to walk you through how you can set up your own account and start sending emails with Firstsales. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to add subdomains so that you can do link tracking with Firstsales as well. Thanks again for sticking around to the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.